Hi, second graders, Miss Shannon back again. For our shared reading today, we will be reading a series of poems about nature. The first one is called Snow Shape. As I read these three poems, I want you to think about the essential question. The essential question this week asks, what excites us about nature? These poets who wrote the poems are sharing with us what excites them about different parts of nature. For today's activity, you will need your Turn Practice book, page 196. Can you believe we've made it this far through our book, second graders? Wow! This is the graphic organizer that you should see on page 196. It is our theme graphic organizer. The theme of a text is the main message or lesson the author wants us to learn from their story. To find the theme, you should look for key details in the poem. You can use these key details as clues to figure out the main message of the poem. What was it the author wanted you to learn from reading their poem? Here is poem number 1, Snow Shape. Remember that we are thinking about what excites us about nature. So what excites this poet about nature? Listen and follow along as I read aloud. Snow is falling from the sky. It gently lands on the ground. It's bright, bright white, just like cold milk. It looks so soft and smooth. I hate to ruin it with my feet, but I have got a plan. I stand up tall and close my eyes, and then straight back I fall. I slide my arms up and down. I move my legs in and out. I stand up to see what I have made. A 4-foot shape in the snow of me. Here is our next poem. It is titled Nature Walk by Sarah Miller. Take a look at the picture and the leaves, and then I'm going to zoom in on the poem so we can read it together. So here's our poem, Nature Walk. Again, listen as you read to hear what do you think excites the author about nature. When you take a walk in the fall, leaves are like a blanket on the ground. They crunch under your feet with each step you take. When you take a walk in the fall, the air feels as cool as drops of rain on your cheek. It smells like clean cotton towels. When you take a walk in the fall, the outdoors will excite you. It's a wonderful time. Second graders, before I move on, I noticed that the author used repetition in this poem, just like we learned about earlier in this week. At the start of each stanza or group of lines, it starts with the same words. Every stanza starts with this line, when you take a walk in the fall. So the author repeats that phrase 3 times throughout the poem. Our next poem is titled In the Sky by Juanita Marco. Once again, listen as I read aloud. You might notice and look for rhyming words or maybe repetition in the poem as I read. In the sky. Outdoors on a clear day. Look up in the sky. What do you see? Look, I see a polar bear. Look, I see a pale flower growing. Look, I see a buffalo and her baby. Wait, it's changing. Now I see a cowboy on his horse, galloping, galloping across the sky. I wonder where he'll ride. So that poem was all about noticing the shapes of clouds and enjoying the time being outside on a clear day. Okay, now we are going to use page 196 to find the theme of one of our poems. The poem I have chosen for us to look a little closer at is Nature Walk. So we are going to think about what is the theme or the main message that the author, Sarah Miller, wanted the reader to learn from reading her poem. I'm going to reread the first stanza and see if I can find a key detail about a nature walk that I think we could include as a clue in our graphic organizer. So we're looking for a key detail. When you take a walk in the fall, leaves are like a blanket on the ground. They crunch under your feet with each step you take. So second graders, I am imagining taking a walk in the fall and all of the leaves, big leaves that have fallen on the ground. Each time I walk, I'm hearing the crunch, crunch of a dry leaf under my foot. So in that stanza, what do you think is the key detail from that stanza? What is something we learned about what happens when you take a fall walk? You got it. There's a key detail. The author told us that when you walk, leaves crunch under your feet in the fall. We are going to include that in our graphic organizer as our first clue because we are supposed to be using key details as clues that lead us to the theme. So this would be clue number 1. The leaves crunch under your feet. Go ahead and pause this video if you need to. Write in our first clue or key detail, and then press play when you're ready to hear the next one. Okay, now that we have read the first stanza, we are going to move to the second stanza. Listen once again as I read aloud. When you take a walk in the fall, the air feels as cool as drops of rain on your cheek. It smells like clean cotton towels. Okay, so in the first stanza, she told us what we would hear when we were on a fall walk. We would hear the crunch of the leaves. And in this stanza, stanza 2, she told us what it would feel like. The air feels as cool as drops of rain on your cheek. So now, if leaves crunching was what we would hear, the air touching your cheek is what we would feel. That could be a key detail. Something the author is telling us about going on a nature walk, what the air would feel like. The air feels as cool as drops of rain is our second clue. You can pause as you write in your complete sentence. Remember to start with a capital letter at the beginning and end with a period, and press play when you're ready to move on. Okay, let's return back to the second stanza. She just told us what it would feel like going on a walk. We would feel that cool air on our cheek. The very last line in stanza 2 tells us what it would smell like. Okay? It smells like clean cotton towels. So can you imagine going on a nature walk in the fall? Breathe in. What is the smell you smell? Is it the same as what the author is sharing? Can you imagine clean cotton towels maybe after like a fresh rain? So the author is telling us what it smells like on a nature walk. That is our third clue, leading us eventually to our theme of the poem. So our third clue is that the air smells like clean cotton towels. All right, now I'm going to go back and read the final stanza, stanza number 3. It says, when you take a walk in the fall, the outdoors will excite you. It's a wonderful time. The outdoors will excite us. Keep that in mind as we start to think about the theme. Let's review our 3 clues so far. The leaves crunch under your feet. The air feels as cool as drops of rain. The air smells like clean cotton towels. So the author is giving us clues about what it would sound like, feel like, and smell like taking a nature walk. When you read this description that the author gave us about nature walks, does it make you want to go on a nature walk in the fall? Yeah, it makes me want to go on a walk and think about as I'm walking, thinking about all the things I'm seeing, hearing, feeling. Just as our poet did for the poem. So now it is your turn. Think about our 3 clues. What was the author's main message or big idea about the poem? What did the author want you to learn or hope you would learn about nature walks? Do you think that the author loves nature walks? Yeah. Do you think she enjoys taking nature walks? Yeah. So maybe if you're answering those 2 questions, that might lead you to the theme. When you're ready, please make sure you write in a complete sentence and then be sure to take a picture of it and post it in one of the last slides. You will have 2 options again. Option number 1 is to take a picture of the page and paste it into the green box. Or if your camera is not working or you're having a difficult time with it today, you can type your answers into the graphic organizer on the very last slide. So 2 options for sharing your work and showing that you participated today in this activity. I look forward to seeing your responses and make sure you click submit after you attach your work. Have a great afternoon, second graders.